I booked a garden venue, ordered everyone's favorite food, and sent out reminders for my promotion party. Not a single person showed. That night, my uncle posted group photos from a family movie marathon at my guardian's house. I didn't comment. I just texted, "Good luck covering next month's bills without me." Then I blocked every number that suddenly remembered I exist. I, 29M, had been planning this promotion party for weeks. After 7 years of grinding through late nights and weekend shifts at the engineering firm, I finally made senior project manager. The raise was substantial, enough to keep supporting my extended family like I had been doing since my parents died in a car accident when I was 22. My guardians, my aunt and uncle who took me in after the accident, had always made it clear that family comes first. They raised me alongside their 3 kids, and when I started earning decent money, it became an unspoken expectation that I would help out. Monthly contributions for groceries, utility bills, my younger cousin's college tuition, car repairs, whatever they needed, I provided. It felt natural at first, like paying back their kindness. The promotion felt like validation that all those sacrifices were worth it. I wanted to celebrate with the people who mattered most. I booked the community garden venue downtown, the one with string lights and picnic tables under oak trees. I ordered from 3 different restaurants to make sure everyone had their favorites: barbecue for my uncle, Thai food for my aunt, pizza for my cousins, and that expensive Mediterranean place my girlfriend always talked about. I sent out the invitations 3 weeks early, followed up with reminders, and even created a group chat to coordinate timing. Everyone confirmed they would be there. My uncle said he was proud of me. My aunt mentioned she was looking forward to celebrating my success. My cousin seemed excited about the free food. Even my girlfriend, who had been distant lately, promised she would make it work despite her busy schedule. The day arrived, and I spent the afternoon setting up. I arranged the tables, hung additional decorations, and made sure the food arrived on time. The garden looked perfect as the sun began to set, casting golden light through the leaves. I stood there at 6 o'clock, checking my phone and watching the entrance. 6:30 came and went. Then 7. I called my uncle, but it went straight to voicemail. My aunt's phone did the same. I texted the group chat asking if everyone was running late, but nobody responded. By 8 o'clock, I was sitting alone at a table for 12, surrounded by enough food to feed a small army. The venue staff started giving me sympathetic looks. Other families were enjoying their evening gatherings nearby, their laughter and conversation highlighting my isolation. I finally packed up the untouched food and drove home in silence, my phone still showing no new messages. That night, I was scrolling through social media when I saw my uncle's post. A collection of photos from what he called a spontaneous family movie marathon at my guardian's house. There was my aunt laughing on the couch, my cousins sharing popcorn, and even my girlfriend curled up in the armchair I had bought them last Christmas. The timestamp showed they had been posting throughout the evening, right when they were supposed to be at my party. The caption read something about how important it was to spend quality time together as a family. Multiple family members had commented with heart emojis and inside jokes about the movie they watched. My girlfriend had even tagged herself in the location. I stared at those photos for a long time. 7 years of being the reliable one, the provider, the person they could count on for anything they needed. 7 years of putting their needs before my own, of working extra hours to make sure I could cover their expenses, of being told I was family while apparently being excluded from actual family gatherings. I did not comment on the post. I did not call anyone demanding explanations. Instead, I opened my banking app and canceled all the automatic transfers I had set up over the years. The monthly payment for their mortgage assistance, the recurring transfer for groceries, the education fund for my cousins. All of it stopped with a few taps on my screen. Then I composed a single text message and sent it to the family group chat. Good luck covering next month's bills without me. I blocked every number in my contacts that belonged to a family member. My uncle, my aunt, my 3 cousins, and yes, my girlfriend too. When they tried calling from unknown numbers, I blocked those as well. When they showed up at my apartment, I did not answer the door. The promotion came with a transfer option to our company's branch in another state. I had initially declined, wanting to stay close to family. Now I called my boss and accepted the position. Within 2 weeks, I had given notice on my apartment and started packing. Update 1. The blocked numbers started multiplying. Family friends, neighbors, Even my old high school buddies began reaching out with messages about how I was being unreasonable and needed to forgive family mistakes. Apparently, my aunt had been telling everyone that they forgot about the party because of a family emergency, and I was being cruel by cutting off financial support during their time of need. I learned through a mutual friend that the emergency was my youngest cousin getting dumped by her boyfriend. They decided a movie night would cheer her up and completely forgot about my celebration. When I did not show up at their house wondering where everyone was, they assumed I would understand and get over it. My girlfriend had been the one to suggest they not tell me about the change of plans. She thought I would be upset about them canceling, so it was easier to just let me figure it out on my own. She had been planning to break up with me anyway, she told people, because I was too focused on work and not spontaneous enough for her. The mutual friend seemed to expect me to be grateful for this information, as if knowing the details would make the betrayal hurt less. Instead, it confirmed that my decision was correct. These people had discussed my feelings, my party, and my reaction like I was a problem to be managed rather than a person who deserved basic respect. Update 2. 3 months into my new job, I received a certified letter from a law office. My aunt and uncle were claiming that I had verbally agreed to provide financial support indefinitely, and my sudden withdrawal of funds had caused them financial hardship. They wanted compensation for the money they claimed to have lost due to my breach of oral contract. I forwarded the letter to my own attorney, who laughed and explained that their case had no merit. Voluntary financial gifts between family members do not create legal obligations, especially when there was no written agreement or consideration exchanged. We sent a response declining their demands and warning against further frivolous legal action. The lawsuit attempt told me everything I needed to know about how they viewed our relationship. I was not family to them. I was a resource. When that resource became unavailable, they tried to use legal force to restore their income stream. The people who raised me, who I trusted and supported for years, were willing to take me to court rather than accept responsibility for their own financial planning. My new life was taking shape nicely. The work was challenging, my colleagues were friendly, and I was saving more money than I had in years. I bought a house with a small garden where I could grow vegetables and read books on weekend mornings. For the first time since my parents died, I was living for myself instead of managing other people's expectations and needs. Update 3. A year later, I received a wedding invitation in the mail. My oldest cousin was getting married, and despite everything that had happened, they wanted me there. The invitation was addressed to my old apartment, forwarded through several addresses before reaching me. Inside was a handwritten note from my cousin explaining that she understood I was hurt, but family was family, and she hoped I would consider attending her special day. I almost threw it away immediately, but something made me hesitate. This cousin had been 8 years old when I moved in with their family. I had helped her with homework, driven her to soccer practice, and been there for her high school graduation. She was the one family member who had never directly asked me for money, though she certainly benefited from my contributions to the household. I decided to send a gift, but not attend. I chose something thoughtful but not expensive, a nice picture frame with a note wishing her happiness in her marriage. I did not include my new address or phone number. 2 weeks after the wedding, I received a thank you card with photos from the reception. Everyone looked happy and well-dressed. My uncle had apparently gotten a new job, and they had moved to a smaller house that better fit their actual budget. My aunt had started working part-time at a local business. My cousins were all doing well in school and jobs. The photos showed me something important. They were fine without my money. They had adapted, made changes, and figured out how to support themselves. All those years of being told they needed my help, that I was essential to their financial stability, had been manipulation rather than truth. They were capable people who had chosen dependence over independence because it was easier. Looking at those wedding photos, I felt something I had not experienced in years, genuine happiness for them, mixed with relief that I was no longer part of their financial equation. They had found their way without me, which proved they never really needed me in the first place. I kept the photos but did not respond to the thank you card. Some bridges are better left burned, especially when crossing back would mean returning to a role that diminished both parties. They had their family movie marathons and spontaneous gatherings. I had my quiet garden and the knowledge that my success belonged entirely to me. The promotion party that nobody attended had taught me the most valuable lesson of my adult life: the difference between being needed and being valued. I had spent 7 years being needed for my money while never being valued for myself. Now I was building relationships based on mutual respect rather than financial obligation, and the difference was remarkable. Sometimes the best revenge is simply refusing to play a game where you were never meant to win.